Okay, so he comes, he calls for the merchant again. And he says, "You fellow, the first day I saw you, I knew that the circle has come. You are saying lies, and this is the main cause of that. Because of that culprit father of yours. It's because of him the wall became like this, and because of him this girl had to walk around. Because of him the goldsmith. Because of him only this happened. If he wouldn't have given orders to the goldsmith, that girl wouldn't have come on the road. If the girl wouldn't have come on the road, he wouldn't have been. But no one is staying. No one is stopping the thief from stealing. But innocent man has died. Okay, fine. He says, okay, so now as you have inherited everything, you are staying at this house, you have to face your father's crime. Now you have to die. So he ordered, and he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. As the servant sharpened the stake and he got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. He appealed to the king's common sense. The king worried about it too. What shall we do? He said. When suddenly it struck him that they all needed was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. The servants immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake, and their eyes fell on the disciple who had flattened himself for months on bananas and rice and meat, and he fattened himself. So, what have I done wrong? I am innocent, I am a sannyasi, he cried. That may be true, but it's the royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake. They said, and carried him to the place of execution. He remembered his wise guru's words, this is a city of fools, you don't know what they will do next. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. The guru saw everything in a vision. What a story, imaginative. He had magic powers, he could see far, and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. He arrived at once to save his disciples who had got himself into a scrap through love of food. He got stuck because of his fooding. If he wouldn't have stayed there, he wouldn't have got stuck. And what a king, because the man is thin, he won't, while cutting it won't fit, he will not fit into that place, he's too thin for it. Look for a fat person who will take it. So what condition of law and order. I would never want to go and stay in a place like that. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Then he went to the king and addressed him. O wisest of kings, who is greater, the guru or the disciple? Of course the guru, no doubt about it. Why do you ask? Then put me to the stake first, put my disciple to death after me. Then he said, what is this? And obviously the guru, why are you saying? Then when the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor. Me first, you brought me here first. Put me to death first, not him. He understood what's the game here. The guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled by his behavior. He asked the guru, why do you want to die? We chose him because we needed a fat man for the stake. You shouldn't ask me such questions. Put me to death first, replied the guru. Why? There is some mystery here. A wise man, you must make me understand. Oh, now again the king is thinking there is some mystery here. There is something wrong. As a wise man, you must make me understand. Okay, so will you promise to put me to death if I tell you? Asked the guru. The king gave him his solemn word. Yes, if you give me the right issue, I'll put you to death. The guru took him aside, out of the servants, earshot, and whispered to him, do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us. We have all been over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. The stake is the stake of God of justice. It's new. It has never had a criminal on it. Whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. And whosoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. We are sick of our ascetic life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and ministers for a while. Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember. He's given into the ears that whoever is going to die first will become the next king, and then who will die second will become his secretary, minister. The king's mind is going to go for a toss. Excuse me. Excuse me. The king was now thrown up into deep thought. It's hit his mind. He didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. In the next life, he's going to come. I'll not allow him to come. He needed time, so he ordered the execution postponed to the next day, and he talked in secret with his minister. He's also got great ministers. It's not right for us to give over the kingdom to others in the next life, Let's go on the stake ourselves, and I will be reborn as king and minister again. Holy men do not tell lies, he said, and the minister agreed. The minister also agreed. So he told the executioners, we will send the criminals tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first. Then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders, don't make any mistake. That night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison, released the Guru and the disciples, disguised themselves as the two, and they arranged beforehand with the royal servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. When the bodies were taken down to be thrown to the crows and vultures, the people panicked. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the minister. The city was in total confusion. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. Some people suddenly thought of the Guru and the disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. They were hiding and going away. We people need a king and a minister, said someone. Others agreed. They begged the Guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. It didn't take many arguments to persuade the disciple, but it took longer to persuade the Guru. They finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister on the condition that they would change all the old laws. From then on, night would be the same again as night, and day would again be day, and you could get nothing for a dudu. It became like any other place. A folk tale, very nicely made. And the chelas are always greedy. They try to, take the situation, handle the situation, they take control of the situation, they use that chance of their gurus, and they try to become the gurus. They think that they are the boss, they manipulate the situation. So this is what it is all about. The story, I liked it very much. After a long time I am doing English stories again, so it's great. So very nice. And we'll go to the question answer section. I hope you are able to do it, but I'll just tell you a few points, and after that you can do it yourself also. Okay. So what are the two strange things the Guru and his disciples find in the kingdom of fools? Okay. What are the two strange things the disciples, the things the Guru and his disciple found in the kingdom of fools? The Guru and the disciple found that the kingdom of fools, people used to work during nights and sleep during days. Everything was cheap and the cost was same. As far as my issue, these are the two strange things. What does the disciple? Why does the disciple decide to stay in the kingdom of fools? Is it a good idea? Everything was cheap in the kingdom of fools. Answer. So everything was cheap in that kingdom of fools. The disciple had a peculiarity of diet. He was always wanting to eat more. His diet was large. He was tempted by the cheap food. So he decided to stay in that kingdom. It was not a good idea to stay there for a long time, as one could be in danger anytime because of the unpredictable behavior of the people and their king and the ministers. Okay. Question number 3. Name all the people who are tried in the king's court and give the reasons for their trial. The owner of the house, that is the merchant, the bricklayer, the dancing girl, the bricklayer, the dancing girl, the goldsmith were tried in the king's court. They were all tried because the thief died when the wall of the merchant's house had collapsed. The merchant was tried for building a weak wall. The bricklayer was tried for doing it so carelessly. The dancing girl was tried for disturbing the concentration of the bricklayer. The goldsmith was blamed for making the dancing girl walk up and down to his house a dozen times. Okay. 4. Who is the real culprit according to the king? Why does he escape punishment? The merchant's dead father was held responsible for making the wall weak, but according to the king, the rich merchant was the real culprit because he had inherited both sins and riches of his father. He escaped the punishment because he was too thin to fit the stake. Okay? Now, what are the Guru's words of wisdom? When does the disciple remember them? The Guru was full of wisdom and he knew well that unpredictable behavior of the fools could create danger anytime. Guru's words were, they are all fools, this won't last very long. You can't tell what they will do to you next. The disciple remembered them when he was arrested by the men of the king to execute merely because he fitted the stake. It was because of the Guru's words of wisdom that the execution was postponed. Okay? And question number 6 goes as, how does the Guru manage to save his disciple's life? Okay? How does the Guru manage to face his disciple's life? Is the Guru arrived on time to save his disciples and created a drama. He told the king that it was not an ordinary stake and whoever went to the stake first would become the king in the next life. The second would die to become a minister. And the king wanted to avail himself of the opportunity. The Guru and his disciples were released. Thus the Guru managed to save his king's life. So this other question answer which is there, talk about it. We'll do it in the next class. Talk about it, and we have some MCQ questions I'll give to you. Okay, and I'll share it with you so that you will be able to understand what are the questions come and what are they for. So see you in the next class. Till then, take care of yourselves, be good, be safe, stay home, stay safe, and respect your parents, love them as much as you can, and do some physical exercise also every day. So bye bye, God bless, see you soon.